Oh,
All right, we should be good to
I
go.
have to consent to this?
All right,
Consent
we're
to,
good to go.
pardon me?
We're alive.
Okay.
O-
That's, I just hit
Okay,
got it. Okay.
okay. Trace, we're ready to start then?
Yes.
I hope everybody could hear me. I'm actually on my phone. It appears that my computer may have been compromised as part of what may be going on or what is going on in the Scranton School District. I'm not getting any personal emails.
Wow.
So it looks like they talked about it even extending out to people who use their personal computers, but had a lot of, was always on the Scranton website. So I don't know if that's the case, but in any case, I'm not getting emails. So I hope everybody could hear me. So I am going to start. Well, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Okay. And the first thing we will do is, Trace, we could confirm the proof of notice.
Yes, that's the original one that went out back in February.
Going through all the dates. Okay. And then everybody should have received, which I did not either, receive a copy of the minutes from Sandy.
Yes.
Yes.
Um, does everybody need a minute to look them over?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Could I have a motion to approve them?
I'll make a motion.
Okay. And will somebody second it?
I'll second it.
Okay. All right. The next thing, we have a lot to cover tonight, but one of the items on our agenda, I'm going to hope that we would devote all of our next meeting to just that initiative. But the first thing I want to talk about is the collaborative initiative between our committee and the NEIU. Eliza approached me and asked me if we would collaborate on kind of like a public forum for all the principals in Lackawanna County. So on May 13th at 9 o'clock, she will be inviting all of the principals from the 10 school districts in Lackawanna County. And she asked me to have all of our elected officials there at the state level, which would be Senator Flynn, Representatives Mullins, Kozarowski, and Donahue to discuss current legislation in Harrisburg as it relates to literacy. I also asked our county commissioners if they would be present to talk about our literacy committee and their support and how they're behind it. And then I thought we would do what we did for the superintendents, and that would be to introduce any of our members that are able to come that day, and then also to talk about what our initiatives are for this year. And then finally, Eliza and Carly would talk about the IU initiatives, literacy initiatives for this year and for next year. So that'll be May 13th at 9 o'clock. Obviously, the more of you that could come, the better. I know a lot of you are working during the day, but, if you can make it, I would appreciate it. Anybody that can. I mean, I've totally acknowledged everybody has daytime jobs and everybody won't be able to be there. But, this will give us a good opportunity to, just to interact with all of our state reps as well. You know what I mean? And get a good feel for that legislation in the House and the Senate and where it's headed. Because you may have seen something in the newspaper a few weeks ago. There was an op-ed written by two of the state legislators from out of town indicating that what they're doing is comparable to what has happened and is still going on in Mississippi. And those of us who know what happened in Mississippi and what's going on know that what they're proposing is not even close.
Right.
So, it'll be important for us to have those interactions so that they know how to vote on that legislation, so they can hear from us. So that's on May 13th. Does anybody have any questions about that? I'll stop there.
No.
Okay. All right. On May 22nd, we're partnering with the Wright Center and we're offering the Reach Out and Read program. Two things. One is we're partnering with the Wright Center so we can have the event at their location in South Scranton. Some of you may know where that is. It's right on, I believe that's North Washington Avenue, maybe. but you can't miss the building. It's huge. And the other reason is that the Wright Center is a Reach Out and Read site. So I thought that would be great. So and we'll be inviting all of our pediatricians from the county and any other health providers, the Reach Out and Read program that evening, showing them how they can become, sites. And then I believe Patty's also going to talk to them about how to get books at a really reduced rate via Scholastic. So once again, that'll be at the Wright Center in South Scranton on May 22nd at 6:30. And of course, the more the merrier, right?
Yeah. Sandy,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I'm having surgery on Monday, May 20th, and I'll try to get there on the 22nd, but I can't promise.
Yeah, that was a project that last year when we were signing up for different initiatives, Sabine, myself, Patty, and Colleen signed up for that.
Right.
So we're in the process now of developing a PowerPoint presentation and everything. It's been going back and forth. And
I lost your voice.
She's muted.
I did too.
I can't hear you, Sandy.
can you hear me now?
Yeah,
she-
now,
she
but
muted
while you were
herself.
talking, it's happened a couple of times. While you were
Oh.
talking, we lost
Oh,
you.
I'm sorry. So that'll be on May 22nd, once again at 6:30, and we're in the process of finalizing the PowerPoint, which our entire committee will get a copy of that PowerPoint as well. Okay, and all of you know, of course, what Reach Out and Read is, correct? Does everybody pretty much is on top of it. The only thing that I have to tell you, and Patty and I talked about this, is what really surprised us is how they've branched out now. Initially they were just about literacy. Now they're about numeracy. They're really focusing on social and emotional development of children. I believe I sent you a policy document that they posted on their website. When I sent you the agenda, that was one of the other things I sent you. But if I ever get to actually use my Scranton email again, it's something I want to share with our principals and special ed teachers, because we have an awful lot of people indicating that they think children are autistic. And that's coming from inside as well as on the outside. And I love this policy document because it states exactly what our autistic support teachers have been saying, that they're getting children who are not autistic. They're just presenting with significant social delays, but it doesn't rise to the level of being autistic. So look it over if you get a chance. So it's really a good document. The next thing I want to talk about, and I think we'll devote our whole April meeting to, which will be in person, but we're going to have a public showing of the documentary at Marywood on October 6th at 6:30.
October 6th or 10th?
I'm sorry, I'm looking at 6, October 10th at 6:30.
Okay.
So we're going to need like committees to work on that, because I know when I did the forum at the U and when we did that violence prevention forum, like it took a lot of work by a lot of different people. So if you just in the back of your head, think about what you might want to work on. But I think we'll devote our entire April meeting to that initiative, just to figure out, number one, who do we want on the panel for post viewing? Who will answer questions, respond to, make presentations. We'll make decisions about what that'll look like that evening. But it appears that from all of the different showings of the documentary around the country, they've had a post-viewing panel. Do you know what I mean? To field questions or whatever. So if you want to just think about like who we think might be best served on that panel. And then secondly, if you could think about what role you may want to play, because I think we're going to have to do a lot of publicity for one thing. Okay. Any questions about that? Like I said, that'll be our whole next month meeting. because October will be here before you know it. You think you have so much time, and then you turn around, it's like, oh my gosh, that's next week. So it'll be good to get a head start on it, especially if we're if we're going to try to get LeVar Burton here. It's going to take, a lot of work to do. And like I said, I think publicity will be key. The next thing I wanted to talk about is we had a resignation from our committee, Jim Mulligan. If you guys don't know Jim, and I never met him personally until he joined our committee, but he is known for, I knew we ran for mayor at one point, but I think he's best known for being the father of 9 or 10 children. Trace, do you know how many? It's 9 or 10, I think, right? But he's pretty well known for, having a large family. So he just said that, with 1 or 2 of them, maybe 3 in college right now, he's really putting in long hours and he just can't do it. So, of course, we all sent him a letter, myself, Tracy, saying how much we'd miss him. And he submitted his resignation. So I wanted to put forth to replace him a parent. This parent has 3 children with disabilities, 3 different ones. One has a reading disability, and I don't want to, reveal any kind of confidential information. So I won't say what the other 2 have, and if she discloses that. But she actually applied to be on this committee last year. And of course, we already filled the 9 spots. So I thought this is just a natural. Jim resigned, and we'll just put her on.
Andy, I'm sorry. Andy, can you please repeat your name for the minutes?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Her name is Vivian Williams. She's actually an employee of this, what do you call it? The Scranton Area Foundation.
Okay.
She's an employee there.
Thank you.
And like I said, she has 3 children, and she applied to be on this committee last year. And I think it's good for us to have a parent. Mm-hmm. And especially like I know her well because I happen to be the person who evaluated her 3 children. And I know she really keeps on top of research and everything else. So she'd, be coming with a lot of perspective.
Will she have to be appointed by the commissioners?
Yeah, she'll have to be appointed. So I asked her to resubmit her
resume.
Resume. Sorry. Yeah, her resume.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, the commissioners.
Tracy, you know what? You're really low,
Yeah,
so then people don't even realize that you're speaking. Okay, now you're gone.
Okay, I think what she's going to say is that if you remember last month, I told you that we asked the commissioners to add more members to the committee because I felt there were a lot of stakeholders in the committee, in the community that weren't represented. So Tracy's probably going to tell us whether or not they got permission or not. I believe they had it from what I read in the paper today. I think they had a meeting yesterday. So she'll let us know. But here, I put on here the people that I feel need to be represented, but this is certainly open to discussion. For example, I feel that we need somebody from the early childhood community, and the largest provider of early childhood services in Lackawanna County is Head Start. So I was thinking they would be a good one because, and I'm going to ask somebody if they would spearhead this initiative, is work with Head Start to get all of the teachers in the Head Start community trained in the letters program, the early childhood version of letters. So I thought that's one good, representative on our committee. The other one I was thinking of is somebody from the Chamber of Commerce. As many of you know, workplace literacy is receiving a lot of attention in this country. And, they may be another good representative, coupled with the fact that we thought about asking them to help us with the book recycling program. And then the last person I thought we should have is somebody from the NEIU because, as far as school initiatives, we'll be kept apprised all the time of school initiatives. And then where there's room for collaboration, like we're doing on May 13th, we'll be able to do that. But I wanted to open it up for discussion now to see if you thought there was anybody else we should consider.
Sandy, I was just wondering, does the committee have to be confined or held to 9 people?
No, we're adding 4 more.
But that's okay.
Well, they had to get permission. That's what Tracy was probably going to say.
Yeah,
I
okay.
can't speak for her, but I think that's what she was going to say. Because I know that they were going to the attorney for the county to ask to get things changed so we could add 4 more members.
Okay. Well, we lost you again.
Sandy, you keep hitting your mute. Because you're using your phone. Sandy, you hit your mute. There you go.
I'm
You're
sorry.
good.
I'm sorry. I'm getting all these phone calls and it's all spam. So I was just saying, if you remember last meeting, I talked about asking Bill to, if we could expand the committee so we could have those, which what I feel are very important stakeholders. But is there anybody else that you think should be represented?
So if we look at workplace literacy, we would be focusing then more on adult literacy. Like all of our other initiatives are more child-centered. We haven't really addressed a lot with adult literacy, which of course is a huge segment of our population as well. Yeah. Okay.
So we could start expanding, and then maybe the person from the chamber would spearhead an initiative, and come up with things. And, we all pretty much work as a team, all of us on the committee.
Right.
So they may be the ones to spearhead, an initiative with our support, with other members of the committee to support them. I just remember even 10 years ago, you may remember we brought Reed Lyon in here.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Do you remember Reed Lyon? And now he was the original Mick Jagger of the literacy world, right? He was the original. But I just remember at that time, Bob Durkin from the chamber came. It was at the University of Scranton.
Yes.
And I remember Bob pulling me aside and saying, Sandy, the chamber, the National Chamber of Commerce is really concerned about, the literacy skills of our workforce in the United States. It's a huge issue. So it could be expanding, but at least I think we would have somebody who would be knowledgeable enough about it to lead an initiative. And then if any of us wanted to jump on board and support them, good. But that's a good point, Colleen.
Are you do you have people that you are going to ask, or are you going to contact like the Chamber of Commerce and ask for a volunteer?
I think with Head Start, we'd ask Jimmy Wansack. He's the director. So I think we would take his lead, right? Because he may not be interested, but Head Start, they have a lot of, I don't want to just say administrators because they're not, but just a lot of coordinators. Like right now, I know they have a behavior therapist. Like they have a lot of support personnel. So he may have somebody in mind that would be a better representative than he. From the chamber, I don't think Bob will do it. I can't speak for him, but I'm thinking Amy Leister maybe. But I would leave it up to them, to say, who do you think is the best representative and would have the most knowledge about this issue? And then for the U19, I think Carly's the best bet.
Yeah, I would suggest Carly. She'd be great.
Yeah, she really is. And Colleen, you and Patty have had a lot of experience and contact with her too, right? The last couple of months.
Wonderful. Yeah, she's just has so much energy. She really does. She's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes. Pat, how about you? Do you think Carly would be the one from the NEIU?
Oh, definitely. Yep. Yeah. She's the one with that is representing a lot of the literacy programs that they have up there.
Right.
And I have been talking to her a little bit, maybe a few months ago. I talked to her about their facilitating the training for Head Start. So if anybody on the committee wants to take that lead, as far as the Head Start letters training, let me know. And then you could work with Carly. And then, if 2 or 3 people from our committee want to work on that initiative, that'll be great. But I'll tell you what, it would be just working in the school district every day And I know that it's not unique to Scranton. I know it's a problem all over. You know, we have a high rate of poverty in some districts more than others. But if we could get those teachers trained in the science of reading, you know, like I said, the early childhood letters program, our kids would be coming to kindergarten so much more prepared, you know, than they are now. You know, we have children now who come in and they've never even had a book in their hand. And the reason we know that is one of our assessments, and the reading specialists know this, is an assessment called Concepts About Print. And, you know, they don't know how to hold the book. They don't know what an author is. They don't know left to right return sweep. I mean, none of those skills that they would acquire, you know, had they had books in the house. So I just think it'd be really good. So if anybody wants to work on that initiative, just let me know. Yeah. And like I said,
Yeah, I was going to say, Sandy, with those 4 people, are we going to be 12 or 13?
We're going to be 13.
13.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Oh, Trace, there.
About somebody from the university, maybe.
Uh-huh. Marywood?
Or Marywood, yes. We were talking.
Yeah, Marywood has a great graduate reading program.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be, you know, an option too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
we were talking.
Sabine, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Maybe Sandy Pesavento would be interested.
Oh, yeah, Sandy would be great.
Is she with Marywood, Patty?
Yeah, she's with Marywood. She used to be a professor at the U, but she went over to the U. Sabine.
Oh, go ahead.
Sabine, you know what's great about that recommendation? What I love about that recommendation? So there is a group called the National, most of us teachers know this, but there's a group, it's called the National Council on Teacher Quality. And 10 years ago, I believe it was, they did a major study of universities around the country to look at what quality they were what kind of quality instruction were they providing to their prospective students, teachers, right? Their teachers. So the first report was dismal. It was really bad. The second one, which came out last year, was a little bit better. Right. But here's the interesting thing. So they looked at, and I'm thinking, because I don't have it in front of me, but I think they did 37 universities in Pennsylvania. Right. And most of those universities got an F or a D. And lo and behold, who gets a B? Little Misericordia.
Right.
Now, Scranton and University of Scranton, Marywood, Penn State, Keystone, they weren't involved. But what might be good about that, and Donna, you could jump in here. I'm thinking maybe Marywood, right, could host a meeting with the chairs and professors of all local universities and talk about that study. And then have Misericordia there to look at, say, what are you doing? Like, you obtained a B. What would happen if the U were in the study? Or what if Marywood was in the study? What would they be, right? How about the University of Pennsylvania? F.
Right.
So, Sabine, that might be a good idea, and they could facilitate that initiative.
Yeah, I think that would be great to involve the university because they are forming our teachers.
Yes. And the federal government, they're shining a spotlight on higher education to say, you know, we're kind of in this crisis right now. There are many factors in the equation, but certainly a major one is the lack of appropriate preparation of our teachers at the undergrad level. So that's a good idea.
One of the other problems we're having is the grade inflation. We're seeing it in the schools. And when the students are coming to college, and in college, we're sometimes giving grades that maybe they don't deserve. And it's overall. I mean, there was just an article in the paper the other day about grade inflation and what it's doing to our educational systems. And it starts at the bottom and it goes all the way through college.
Right.
You know? And there's a big how do I want to say this? An entitlement. If I show up at class, I should get an A. There's nothing. I mean, it's tough.
Well, we know how, I mean, you and I have been in higher ed I'm not right now, but I had been for many decades. And we know how that changed dramatically from start to finish. And you're still there.
Yeah.
But you're exactly right. Entitlement was a huge issue toward the end of my career, Okay, so all right. Well, thank you for those suggestions. I'll present them to the commissioners. And then do we have any new business? Okay, any other comments or suggestions?
Sandy, I have one. I just want to, I sent out the remainder of the Right to Read public showings at the libraries throughout Lackawanna County. And Colleen signed up for Thursday, May 9th. Thank you, Colleen. There's North Pocono on April 17th. There's the Children's Library on April 29th. Dalton Community Library on the 20th of May. And then May 23rd is Valley. I'm not going to keep on pestering you guys. I know you're working. And if you're not working, I know you're busy with other things and stuff like that. But if I don't, if we don't get volunteers, because I can't serve as a professional insofar as reading specialist.
Will you resend those to me, please, Sandy?
Do you have a different email that you want me to use?
No.
I'm using your AOL. Is there another email?
No, that's John asking you.
I don't have AOL. I have
oh, I'm sorry, Sandy. I thought it was you.
Okay.
Yeah, I just sent them just yesterday, didn't I? Colleen, when you responded.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Yes.
Was it yesterday?
Okay.
Yeah, I just sent it yesterday, Donna. Maybe you didn't get a chance to look at your email.
No, because
See now, Sandy, I didn't get that on email either. So will you go through those dates again?
Certainly. Wednesday, April 17th is in North Pocono. Monday, April 29th is Lackawanna County Children's Library.
Okay.
Monday, May 20th is Dalton Community Library. And then May 23rd is Valley Community Library.
And that's in
Peckville.
Peckville. Okay. So let me just look at my calendar because I could tell you right now. All right. Now, our literacy committee meeting is the 17th in April.
Right. No, we meet on Thursdays.
Oh, right. Oh my gosh. Okay.
And also our the information we received, we were supposed to be meeting virtually in April.
Yeah, but I'm coming home.
Oh, so that's changed?
Yeah, virtual is still correct.
Okay.
Do you want to still do it virtual?
Okay, so are we meeting in person or are we meeting virtually in April?
I say we just stay with virtual.
Okay.
Probably because of the proof of notice that already went out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We could still get a lot done virtually. Sand, you could put me down for, wait, hold on. I could do the 17th.
April 17th at North Pocono.
Yeah.
Okay, Sandy, that's at 6 p.m.
Okay.
What time is Lackawanna the Children's Library?
April 29th at 6 p.m.
Okay. Let me see. I think I can do that one.
And what time is the Dalton and the Peckville?
Dalton is May 20th at 6. And Valley Community Library is Thursday, May 23rd at 5:30.
Does anybody want to switch? Like, does anybody want to do April 17th at North Pocono? Is anybody closer? And then I could do Dalton?
Yeah, because I can't do Dalton. I'm going to be in the hospital, so.
Oh, yeah, I could do Dalton. Can anybody do April 17th?
I'll do the 17th at North Pocono.
Okay. All right. And then April 29th, Donna, you're going to do that, right?
Right.
I'll do Dalton. And if we don't get anybody, I could probably do the 23rd and I could go the back way. I'm down in Peckville in 5 minutes.
And if you can't do the 23rd, I can. So we can work that out, it doesn't matter. I can do the 23rd.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, everybody, thank you. And listen, Sabine gave us a good idea. I think we had some good discussion about the new members, but if something comes to mind over the next week, let me know. I'll give everybody a week to think about this.
Sandy, with the Head Start, the letters training, someone would have to be trained in that to
yes.
do with them.
And the IU wants to partner with us on that. So it would probably be Carly, I'm thinking. Right? Because is she doing the letters training now for the?
Yes, she's doing our first part of our letters training. So that might be something I could do.
Get trained in
do that. Yeah, I would consider that.
Oh, that'd be great. Colleen, do you want to call Carly?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be speaking with her shortly after Easter, and that will be before our next meeting. So I'll touch base with her on that.
Okay.
Okay.
And then everybody, feel free to call. Like I said, I know everybody's working, so you may not be able to be there on the 13th, or the 22nd for that matter. But, everybody's always invited to come to everything.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I am now going to a drum circle and I'm drinking wine. There's so much that goes on across the street from my house. I could literally be out every night.
Wow. Good for you.
You're lucky.
I know. So that's what we're going to do. Yes, we're adjourning.
6:03.
Okay.